Hey, what's going on, guys? How's everybody doing? Hey, Henry. Hey, Mary. How you doing? Let's see here. So, there's a few things I wanted to talk about, and that's what's going on. Don't mind me. It's pretty hot out today, pretty humid. So, I know it's been a long time since I've done a live stream, and there's a lot to talk about. Everything going on. Um, where to begin? But let's see how many we can get in here, and then we'll get everything started. So, I So I was trying to show that I was at Gillette Stadium, but it was raining, so my phone, it was hard to type. So it said like Z. It was like Z something. And I'm like, oh, that's not what I wanted to write in. So, and then it just uploaded it, and so I just ran with it. I was like, well, it is what it is now. So, but how's everybody been doing? Gas prices right now in West Virginia are $3.19 a gallon. So, hey, what's up, Dan? So, yeah, I was up in New England for a while. I've just been working, and its work was slow in West Virginia, so I went back up north. Um, but I had a chance to talk to people up in Boston and Providence and Worcester, and so that's what we're going to talk about tonight. So, are you guys better off now than you were 4 years ago? No. The answer is no. You know, what do you guys think of Kamala Harris being the new representative for the United States? I think she's a joke. Yeah, Dan. Well, my phone broke. That's what ended up happening, and don't. It's been a long day, so. But yeah, my phone was broken for a while. I had a bad screen, so I got it fixed. But I had the opportunity to talk to people in Boston and Providence, and even though they're deep blue, Democrats, they're I had a civil conversation. One of them was from New York, and he was anti-gun, going with the program, not questioning, um, what's going on, and it just everyone's feeling the pinch up there in Boston. The apartments are going for like anywhere between $2,000 to $4,000 each, and so housing costs are getting up high. I mean, look at trying to buy a house is insane right now. That's why I went with the RV. I saw all this crap going on. So what you guys been up to? I mean, how's the prepping situation going with you? Are you guys feeling the pinch? Are things okay? Like, what's going on in your area? Hey Henry, how you doing, buddy? I know my computer. Let me see. This I haven't used it in a while, but the biggest thing that I took away from them was that everyone's feeling the pinch. They're all equally frustrated, and I told them, I was like, well, you guys. I talked to each one of them, and I was like, you generally, vote blue. I was like, why do you keep voting blue if nothing changes? And so they started. There was this one guy. He was. He's like, I'm the only young black man around here who understands what's going on. It was in Providence, and he's like, my homies, they think I'm like changed, that I'm not one of them, and they treat him differently. So, it's even amongst themselves, unless they see it, they don't believe it, and eventually everyone's gonna, feel the pinch. I know when I was up there, sorry guys, it's just really hot out. When I was up there, we were spending $100 extra a week for food versus West Virginia. So like the biggest thing I saw, actually fuel is around the same, but gas prices are, they were around 330, 340 a gallon. But the biggest thing was talking about, I said, what about Joe Biden and Kamala Harris? And they were actually voting for Trump. They're like, I'm not voting for Kamala. I'm not voting for Biden. They're like, I don't like Trump, but they're like, I was better off 4 years ago. So that was the biggest take that I got, was that even though we're in deep blue state, that they were still voting for Trump. So that was reassuring. But the thing is, though, is who knows if they were telling the truth? I believe they were, but who knows if they were or not. So sorry, guys, I'm trying to keep this level, but I don't have a table out here. I'm still getting set up. So I'm back in West Virginia now. So school's back in session, so we're here, and but the biggest thing I noticed is that everybody's feeling it. Things aren't going to get better, especially with Kamala Harris. It's more, we're heading towards communism. I mean, we're already in it. We're in knee deep, but if she gets in, that's the reason why she won't talk about any of her policies, because she has said she's a radical. So you're just going to get more and more of her bullshit, which it's, who's been running the country? I mean, we obviously know Biden has dementia. And, my grandfather had Alzheimer's, so I could see it in him. I could see it, every time Biden was talking. Let me mess with this. But, oh, yeah, she's definitely a communist. And that's why they chose her, because she is a radical. What's up, Devil Dog Prepper? How you doing, buddy? Yeah, I apologize, guys. Just been working like crazy and just dealing with shit. But yeah, she's absolutely a communist, and things are going to get worse under her. It's, you figure we're in inflation right now. We're not even in hyperinflation, so things are only going to get worse from here. So, like, I know Trump's going to be holding a rally. He's going back to Butler in October, so I'll see what I can do about going there and just reporting, just showing you what's going on, and maybe I can get a few others to go. But yeah, I mean, we're in a bad situation, because if Trump gets in, things will get better. But I feel like it's going to be a summer of love again, So, but I appreciate you guys tuning in, and I know I haven't talked in a while, and I apologize. I didn't mean to freeze you guys out. It's just been crazy with just, I'm the only one working right now. So it's been just work. And I'm finally now that we're back here, I'm finally able to just chill out. So don't have to work as hard. But up there, it's crazy. Up there, for an RV, they want $1,800 a month just for a plot of land. It's insane. I mean, it is there. I call it the New England tax. It's just crazy. And what the conversations I had, they were like, some of them were like, yeah, but it's Trump. And I'm like, yeah, but there's a lot of lies. I'm like, listen, I said, I'm not trying to persuade you one way or another. I mean, I would like to see you come to the Trump camp and vote for him. But I was like, at least do your own research. I was like, listen to what the right has to say, listen to what the left has to say, and then come to a conclusion. I was like, because that's really what it comes down to. You shouldn't be one way or the other. You should be looking for the truth. Because, I mean, even though there's a lot of bullshit going on, a lot of crap, you got to weed through. You got to be an informed voter. And that's what they plan on, is people who are, useless idiots. And I'm not trying to be mean, but let's just be honest. That's what the Democrat sees as, that's what the party sees. They're just, useless idiots. And it just, a lot of Americans are being used for their propaganda. I mean, I was watching the DNC. Did you guys watch the DNC? I watched the RNC too, but I mean, I would say night 3 was probably, it looked more of like country music awards or something. I don't know. It had a good vibe to it. I'm not saying what they were saying was accurate or truth. They were lying through their teeth. I mean, these guys are real sociopaths. To be able to lie to the American people straight in their eyes and tell them, no, the economy's great, and this is the best it's ever been. And when they're speaking that, or when they say our democracy is at stake, what they're really trying to say to you is, we don't want to lose our power. Trump's going to take away our power. We don't want that. um, and so they're afraid of losing power, which is why I couldn't believe that they actually tried to assassinate him on live TV. That's, they've taken this man through the court system. They've done everything they can to him. It's crazy. It's the lengths they're going through to maintain power is very upsetting. And I'm glad Trump's safe. I mean, only by the grace of God did he live through that. I mean, if you call that luck, I don't know. That thankfully he's still around, but I don't know, crazy. All the stuff that's going on. I mean, imagine this. So for the last 16 years, the best 4 years we had was under Trump. And I mean, and to think that I've always held the Secret Service as a very, I've always held them at a high level. Hang on a second. Just put it on the line. No, I'm good. Sorry. Just put her on the line. So, anyways, sorry about that. We're gonna get Zoe out here. Zoe, come here. Come here. Let me get her. Zoe, come here. Hey, come here. Hey, come say hi. Hey, come say hi. Hey, come here. I'm gonna put her on the line here. Come on. Hey, Zoe. Come here. There she is. Anyways, so yeah, up is down, left is right. Yeah, it's true. Let me see here. Zoe, come here. Stay over here. I forgot my screen's not working right. Yeah, it is true. Welcome to the new era of 2024. Yeah. Well, I mean, really, it's been since the pandemic, but yeah, Double Dog Prepper. There's some crazy shit going on. I do. Well, I pray that Trump makes it and no further harm comes to him. But with what's going on with the Democrats, who knows what they're going to try to do. There's a lot of things that's going on. Zoe, come here. We got neighbors next to us. So I want to make sure that she's not annoying them. So, Zoe, come on. Hang on. Zoe, come here. Zoe, over here. Hey, just bring her in if she's not going to stay over here. Well, I told you have to keep an eye on her. Oh, man. Anyways. So what have you guys been up to? What are you guys doing? How's the prepping community going? Yeah, Zoe. Actually, so I got a story for you guys that I've been meaning to tell you, but I haven't been able to do a live. Well, so I wanted to tell you. So we were staying up in Rhode Island, right on the Connecticut border, and it was like 6:15 in the morning or something like that. Um, and Zoe's barking at something, and I'm like, "What is she barking at?" And then next thing I know, like we had the windows open, and it's 6:15 in the morning. And so, anyways, I'm like, "What is she barking at?" So next thing I know, she squeezed through. Like we had the window not all the way open, but we had it just a little bit open so some wind could come through. Well, this girl squeezed right through the freaking window, jumped out the window because apparently there was a woman walking by with her dog, and her dog had slipped his lead. And so, anyways, this is 6:15 in the morning. I'm half asleep. I wake up and I hear my partner. She was like, "Hey, Zoe just went out the window," and I'm like, "Are you kidding me?" So, anyways, 6:15 in the morning. That's what I had to do. So Zoe is on a short leash now because, well, technically, she jumps out RV windows. So, I wanted to tell you that story about her. But everything that's going on with the election and stuff, things are going to get worse. Food prices are going to be going up. Fuel prices are going to be going up. Um, everything is going to be blamed onto Trump. Um, you know, Camilla's going to be she's going to be quiet. Her party is telling her to just basically, shut up. Don't say anything. Don't tell the general public what your policies are, which she's going to be more extreme than like Joe Biden. I mean, we already know Joe Biden wasn't running the country for the last 4 years, even though he's been getting blamed. We know that there's somebody else that's passing everything that all the bullshit's been going on. But housing prices aren't going to come down when you have BlackRock buying houses up, and selling them, and flip, like you sell them to BlackRock for X amount of money, 50,000, 80,000 over the price, and then they turn it into apartments, and then they rent to people in the nearby neighborhoods. So we're not going to have a fixed housing issue. You're not going to own anything, and you're going to love it, and you're going to be happy. That's what the Democrats want. Did you see at the DNC that they had, freedom, signs and everything? Under them, it's not going to be free. You're going to be under a tyranny. I mean, we already are. Um, so, yeah, yeah, Judith. Brenny will be jealous about her ideas. Yeah. And honestly, like, at this point, I think I'd take Bernie Sanders over Kamala Harris. To be honest, if they, well, I know that they burned him, and they burned him real bad. He was resonating here in West Virginia with the students back in 2016. He was really resonating with college students here, and at first I thought that he was going to be the runner, and then they chose Hillary, and the rest is history. But I don't know. I don't know. I don't think Bernie's, even though he's a big time socialist, I don't think he's crazy enough for them. I don't think he's radical enough compared to what Camilla and her party is basically telling her to do. Oh, I know. Well, and here's the thing is, Sir Hunalot, you're right. Here's the thing is that, like, on the TV, she has not been voted by one person yet. Even her own party, they voted for Joe Biden. This has never happened before, so this is like the most interesting. Well, I don't think it's legal, but I mean, at this point, the Democrats are going to do whatever they want. Um, it's just, you have Massachusetts passing one of the most anti-gun laws, banning all semi-automatics. If that passes, how are you going to defend yourself in the state? Even if there's a grandfathering in, I don't know if there is. I haven't had a chance to read it all, but it's they're they are they're not going to do anything good for us. they keep saying tax the rich, tax the rich. No, they're attacking the middle class. Like the middle class, they want to destroy the middle class because that's who creates jobs, is the small businesses and who employs. And I mean, just like the pandemic, you know, look who had to shut down. Churches had to shut down, which is wrong. Small businesses, you couldn't go to small businesses, but you could go to Lowe's, you could go to Home Depot, you could, Amazon was still delivering. You could still go to Walmart. You couldn't catch the big bad bug bite. We'll just call it the bug bite. Um, it's just, or the jab. Like it just, we've lost a lot of good men and women in the police and the military just because of the whole jab situation, and that's why there's a pilot shortage. So it's just it's only going to cascade and get worse. And as if things weren't bad enough already, it is going to get much worse. And phew, mosquito. Anyways, I want to get on here tonight, guys. I mean, there's just so much to talk about, and I'm not trying to jump from one subject to another, but there's just so much to cover. And but I wanted to talk to you guys and try to get back into the groove of things. We're going to do at least a weekly live stream. I'm going to try to do more, but there's just so much to cover. So, but I know Trump's coming back in October, so I'd like to go and cover what's going on, and just I love my country, and I want to show you what's happening, and not what just CNN or NBC or even Fox News is just saying. So yeah, well, and the thing is too is like I'm not opposed to having a woman as president. Okay, um, you know, I think that it's a very high stress job. So I think um, as a man, I think that we can deal with stress a lot easier, um, especially when it comes to like nuclear stuff. That gets pretty scary, real spooky, real quick. But the thing is, I'm trying to say is that there are way more educated and experienced and overall just better women out there than Kamala Harris. Um, you know, she gotten there off of sending good people to jail for petty crimes or crimes they didn't even commit. So that's very upsetting. And then, and then she's running on the fact that she's black, and she's not black. She's, Indian, so, but anyways, but if you watch the DNC, it was hard to watch. I had to really force myself to watch it. And it just, Obama is a good speaker, but man, are they such, they're so full of crap. Anyone who has common sense and is paying attention. I mean, every time you go to the grocery store, you can feel it. The economy's not better. If anything, things are much worse than they were 4 years ago, and they're running off that like there's some policies that they rejected from Trump, and then they overturned and then secretly kind of put it back in, and they're like, oh hey, look, like the whole jobs reports, they killed a bunch of jobs. And here's the thing is like, who's filling those jobs, and that is Americans. But you also have the reason why they have an open border, that they're sending anybody in they can because they want to turn Texas blue. Right now they're close to changing Texas. And I have no problem with Mexicans coming across. It's not the Mexicans, it's the whole world is coming. You're getting people from like Venezuela. They dumped all their prisons, emptied them out, and I don't care if immigrants come here legally. That's what I care about. I want to know who's coming. I mean, think of it this way: if you're in a neighborhood, you move in there. Do you want to live next to people who are murderers, rapists, thieves, people that you don't feel comfortable living near. I mean, that's essentially what our border is. And once we close it up, yes, you'll still have drug runners, you'll still have people trying to get in. You're always going to have that. But the Democrats have openly stated that it's a free country here. Just come on in, that we can't take, we can't, I'm losing words here because I'm trying not to get a little frustrated, but we can't take care of the world. It's just impossible. If you brought everyone in the world here, we can't. Our economy would crumble. We don't have enough jobs. We don't have enough resources. We don't have enough. I mean, we're struggling as it is. Like, compared to where we were in the 90s, things are a lot worse now. Hang on, I'll let this guy go by. You know, yeah, she's the border czar. Yeah, she is. Even though they're denying it now. But if you go back, I mean, all you gotta do is click YouTube video, and you can pull it up. And they were calling her the border czar. But and she's never been to the border, and she even admitted that no, I've never been to the border, and I've never been. I think she said somewhere in the UK. She's like, I've never been there either. And it's like, well, yeah, we already knew that. So there are crazy people out there who, you know, are delusional, who think that she's speaking the truth and that she's, the. I mean, even here locally near me, I've seen Harris tickets already. All the little signs, vote for Camilla, and I'm like, Camilla was. I mean, that was the easiest. She didn't take one question in the DNC. No one pressed her, and no one's going to press her until until she's in the White House. Yeah, Mary, that's right. Oh, I keep forgetting my. Yep. Yeah, it's Venezuelan gangs are coming over and they're taking over apartment complexes. They're actually all over. They're growing. It's and I know Jason. I know Jason mentioned it. Angry Prepper. He was mentioning about it, and it's true. I mean, these are things that their actions are going to have consequences, and the consequences is we're going to get hurt by their policies because they're letting anyone in that will listen, that will just like, hey, come to America, and the crazy thing is like we don't even treat our veterans as good as they treat, illegals. Okay. And yeah, exactly. Devil dog prepper. If their mouth is moving, it's a lie. That's true. I mean, it's absolutely true, and it's true. It's just it's America. I mean, we're not in the America that I grew up in. This is something totally something else, man. Whew. So, but is there anything else you guys want to talk about? Just shoot it in the comments and let me know, because I know I try to keep up on everything, but I can't. I rely on you guys to fill me in if I'm missing on something. So if there's something we should be talking about, please just let me know about it. Um, but I mean, there's a lot of things to discuss, but the biggest thing is I've been encouraging people who it's tough because there's a lot of people who are like, and I get it. They're like, oh, I don't vote. It doesn't matter. And I'm like, no, it really does. It does matter because if you don't vote, I mean, at the very least, it makes it harder for them to steal it if there's more votes than what they're anticipating. So, Devil Dog Prepper. Okay. All right. Well, we'll get into that. I'll tell you what I've been doing. So, all right. So, besides working, it was around the beginning of June 2024. So I left West Virginia and I came up to New England. And so I've been, like I said, I went to the beach. I was talking to people there. I was kind of working while I was up there too. Um, But the biggest thing I was trying to do was I was trying to get my family to kind of be able to see other family and friends and stuff. And we went up to New Hampshire. So there's a place, I did a video on it. It's called Woodstock, New Hampshire. Now I know there's a bunch of Woodstocks, but we were, I forgot the exact town. We were near Woodstock, New Hampshire, but we were like probably about half an hour from Vermont. It was like half an hour, and it was something like that. We were right on the border. We weren't far. Um, Now, I've been to Concord, I've been to Derry, I've been to Portsmouth, New Hampshire. It's been a while, but anyways, we were up there. That river was beautiful. I mean, that was some clean mountain water right there. It really was a nice area. So I went through the caves up there, and some of them I couldn't fit, and it wasn't because it was actually due to my size because I'm too tall. So like my son, he was doing really good through the caves. There was one that kind of freaked him out because it was real tight. I forget what it was called. It was like not the Devil's Chin. It was something like that. It was something crazy, but they were fun. But the caves, I'm definitely I'm not really claustrophobic, but when you put me in a cave, um, I had a hard time with my shoulders though. That was my biggest problem. I can't tell you how many times I smacked my right shoulder trying to go through. It reminded me of the mines here in West Virginia. Although, of course, you're above ground here, but where I was at. But that's how it felt. It felt like back in the mines. Um, but the biggest prep, um, and this is I don't know what's going to come, come election time, what's going to transpire. Hopefully we have a transition period where Trump wins, he gets into office, and he's safe and everything's fine. I don't see how Kamala Harris can possibly win, but I'm not ruling her out either because, like the last election, I think there was some funny business going on. And so there's a lot of crap that we need to be aware of. But yeah, I mean, all of New England is really great though. We were up there. Um, I went to Cape Cod. I was there. I have some footage I'm trying to put together. Um, the only downfall of me taking such a break is I've kind of lost, not lost, but I need to get back into making videos again and getting back into the editing routine and stuff. So my game is kind of, I need to, you know, warm up again, I guess you could say. But that Metallica concert I went to was awesome. They, Kirk, I mean, all of them, Lars, man, he was looking pretty tired by the end of the concert, so, but it's out here. I know land's gone up. I'm looking at other places too. So up in New England, when I was there, I was looking at land, and it's atrocious, man. You can't buy anything. There was um there was a piece of property in Boston. I forget what side of town or what side of the city it was on, but it was a burnt down house on a quarter of an acre. It was either a quarter of an acre or half an acre. Anyways, it doesn't matter. Um, it was a small piece of property. It had a burnt down house on it. They wanted around 400K asking price, and the house was still there. It's insane. $400,000 for a property you can't even use. That's ridiculous. I mean, you could build a mansion for that here in West Virginia, and still have like a lot of acreage. So, I mean, if you're trying to live in the city, that's probably not the way to go. But it's just, Americans are feeling the pinch. A lot of them. When I was driving around Boston and stuff. I was talking to them, and they're like, "We can barely afford our rent." And I was like, "What are you going to do if you can't afford your rent? What's going to happen?" So talking about that, and like I said, many people were kind of on the same page. It is hard to talk to them because the job that I was working, you couldn't. If you talk about politics, you run the risk of losing your job and getting fired. So so I try to use common sense and kind of get a feel for if they're willing to talk or not. And so jeez, got I think a mosquito got me. Anyways, so Devil Dog Prepper, did you ever get land, brother? So let me see here. So yes, so there is a property that I've acquired, and that's another project that I'm going to be working on, and I want to show you guys. But here's the thing: is like I'm going to wait till spring to start it. So here's the thing: is that the problem I have is that the camper, since we're here full time, I have to stay in one spot. So, and where we're running out of time, there's a lot of work I got to do here for the RV. I want to put in a deck here, that I can be able to stay outside the RV, for the fall, so we can have some fires and stuff. But I got to do all the. I need to do the roof of the RV. I need to do all of the seals and stuff. It's a yearly thing I do. So now that vacation's done, we're slowing down. This is the time to get all that stuff done. So there's a lot of stuff I got to do. So let's see. I mean, I'll record it, but I don't know if you guys are interested in that kind of stuff or not. But I was thinking of maybe even possibly making a second channel just about the RV stuff in case you guys are interested. But yeah, the biggest thing though is if someone's watching this and they're not exactly political, or they're not exactly, on the right side, a Republican per se, let's say they're a moderate Democrat, which I guess you could say is like a Reagan Democrat, I guess you could say. It My advice to you would be just search for the truth. Don't believe everything from the left and the right. Make your own decision. Look, search for the answers. Um, you know, the best thing we can do. We're all in the same boat. It doesn't matter. You know, if we were all in the same, like, if we all were all physically on a boat and it was sinking, do you think the water cares? Do you think gravity cares whether you're a Democrat or a Republican or an independent? The answer is no. I mean, they don't. Gravity, life itself, does not care. When we die and go to heaven, they don't care. God doesn't care if you're a Republican, or independent, or a Democrat. None of that matters. So the best thing you can do is do your homework, do your due diligence. Um, how is the RV holding up, Henry? Let's see here. So there we go. So the RV's holding up really well. So besides besides New York, the state of New York, that was pretty rough. Some of the roads are really bad. Um, so we ran into a situation where I had put a little bit of water. Oh, actually, that reminds me. So we ran into this issue where we were driving through Pennsylvania. We stopped in Wilkes-Barre. Big shout out to um, Cracker Barrel there. Those guys are awesome. If you guys are near Wilkes-Barre, please stop in and give them some service. Those guys were awesome. We showed up, and it wasn't intentional. When you have an RV, especially with my older truck, my Suburban, it's got 61,000 miles on it now. But when you're driving that, I can't go very fast. Like Florida, I can hold 65, okay. But going up the mountains of West Virginia and Maryland, yeah, my truck was having a hard time, especially because the truck's heavy. Because I had the canoe, I had it fully, I had all the gear with me, because we're full time. So I had to literally take everything with me. It worked out where I had some friends here in the community that I'm staying, where I was able to leave a propane tank, and I was able to leave my garbage, the trash here, my trash bin, because I didn't want to be traveling with that. So we ended up staying with family and hanging out there and stuff. So it worked out. But yeah, it definitely it's helped out. But the RV's been doing really well. I gotta get the roof done. That eventually, what I want to do, which I'll probably wait until I get down to the property, is I want to build a roof over, to store the RV underneath it, kind of like a metal garage, but for the roof and for the slide. So, sorry guys, it's just humid out here. So that's what I want to do. It's crazy the spots up there for just a plot of land with full hookups in Massachusetts. They wanted $1,800 for a month. I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm like, dang, So we just stayed with family. So we were called what you call mooch docking, where I hooked up my 50 amp cord, the electric cord from the RV, and I got a bone adapter that goes from a 50 amp down to a 30, so I can use an extension cord. So, stupid. Come on, get out of here, bug. But but yeah. So, anyways, that's what I was doing, and so we were able to use at least one air conditioning unit. I did try my generator. And this is what I wanted to talk to you guys about too. Is test your equipment. I mean, I can't stress that enough. Test your equipment, because that generator I ran 90 in it, gasoline. It should be able to kick on one AC unit. I turned everything off on the circuit breaker except for my AC unit. And so my generator, I've never put gas in it because the carburetor gets skunked up, and you definitely shouldn't leave fuel in it. So the gas that I have in there, it's like, I think it's like 3.5 gallon tank or something like that. What happened was every time it would run, the AC would kick on, and then next thing you know, when I'd turn the fan on, so it would turn on, and then I'd kick the AC on, and as soon as the AC kicked on, because it's a surge of electricity that's pulling, the amperage is pulling, it would overload the generator, so it would trigger the generator. And I was trying to figure out why, like what was going on. So I'm gonna have an electrician look at it. I think what I think it is the circuit breaker on the generator. I think it's either weak, and it's not like it's a weak circuit breaker, or it's just not wired correctly. So I'm gonna have an electrician take a look at it, and because there's no reason it's 6,500 starting watts, and it should have at least 5,500 running watts if you're using gasoline, which in the case I am. Normally I run propane on it because propane is much cleaner, but you run the risk of not having enough enough wattage, because propane burns at a lower BTU than gasoline. So if you guys have a generator, make sure that it is running like it should. Eventually, I'll get a Honda generator where it's quiet. I mean, mine, the one I have right now, it's technically, it sounds like a lawnmower. So it's fairly loud. Not overly loud, but if you're trying to sleep, definitely a little too loud for my neighbors. So I'm going to have the electrician come check it out and find out what's going on, because even he said your AC should be running just fine, because the fan would run, but and I do need to install a what's it called? Um, come on, it's like a quick start or a slow start, where it basically takes the amperage and it kicks on the compressor at a lower rate, so you can run it, so you don't have that hard pull on it. Um, but yeah, so there's a couple things I got to do. But I took my daughter to the concert. Saw Metallica. Five Finger Death Punch was there. It was raining for 2 hours. It was supposed to start at 6. It didn't start till 8. And then Metallica came out around 9:15, and they ran until about 11:15, which we were worried that they weren't going to be able to play the whole set, but they did. So, but yeah, guys, that's pretty much what I've been doing, just working, talking to people. Let's see. Henry says, "Oh, Sarah a lot. Even Rage Against the Machine is woke now. Wow, that's pretty bad." Henry says, "Have you considered a wood frame, a frame with a floor to use for extra storage?" Um, so basically, what I was planning on doing for right now is I'm looking at buying a shed, or at least probably buying, not renting. But what I can do is I have enough room behind my RV where we're at, where I can be able to store my lawn equipment, any food and stuff. I was thinking in the summertime I probably could use it to run my washer and dryer that I had at the house. So at least for now, it's temporary. So that way, because right now, unfortunately, my RV doesn't have a washer and dryer in it. So that's it. It's kind of nice, but it's nice to have, but at the same time, it's also something else that could break, especially with water. Number one thing with the RVs is water. You got to worry about the, water leaks, anything that'll ruin the water, ruin the wood because of water. So let me see here. But I want to at least get the driveway done. If I can do anything at the property, I'd like to get the driveway done. Now, the other reason why I came up to New England too is because my grandfather has Parkinson's disease, and if anyone has Parkinson's that I'll say a prayer for him, and I'm sorry, people. He's relatively healthy except for it's breaking him down, and it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard to he's a Korean vet, so or yeah it wasn't a vet. Yeah, he was Korean War. So oh yeah, frame over the RV with an attic. Yeah, I mean that wouldn't be a bad idea, Henry. So yeah, these are things to think about. Basically, I'm going to try to see what I can do with if the time frame, if we're going to be here for a year or two, like where we're at, then I'll definitely do something more permanent. But the Starlink is finally working great. That's what we're running on right now. The Starlink, I tested it all over New England. I tested it here in West Virginia, and no issues, none at all. Let me see. So let's see what else. There's a couple other things. There's something else I wanted to tell you guys. Might save it for the next live stream because we're already almost an hour in. We got about 10 minutes left. I told my partner that I'd be taking care of some work on the inside of the camper. So what I want to do is we have an eating area, a table and stuff and benches, but we've noticed that we use the couch more than where the table is, and not that it's an issue, but we're trying to find a place for the crate because we downsized Zoe's crate. So we went from a super large crate to down towards just something that she's comfortable in, because it was hard to fit everything in, because her whole crate took up the back of my Suburban, and and I needed to bring the generator with us just in case. I didn't realize that it was going to have issues like that. But so we brought the generator. So I put the generator in the back of the Suburban, and then I put her crate back there. So what I ended up doing, because Zoe kind of freaks out, she likes to be close to us, because she wants to protect us. And also I've noticed that she barks at people a lot more, because she kind of feels like secluded back there, kind of like by herself. So what I did was I took her crate, we downsized it, and I stuck her right behind me, right behind the driver's seat, um, where the driver is. I put her right behind me so that, she's right near me. She's as close as she can. I don't have her loose through the cabin because in case the RV ever flipped and, the RV takes the truck with it, I'm afraid of losing her. I'd rather have her in a crate where she's safe, um, and she won't go through, the windshield or anything like that. Because if she's loose, we did have a harness for her where it would clip to the seatbelt, but to this girl, that's too damn smart. She figured out how to release it. She would just step on the the seatbelt, and so she would release it. So that wasn't safe either. Um, so that was the next best thing we could do, was just do that. So sometimes she's too smart for her own good, especially but she's been doing really well. She did really well traveling. Um, if you guys are thinking about getting a German Shepherd, hit me up. I'll give you all the deets, all the information you want. Um, so hey, Dog Walker, how you doing? So again, guys, I'm sorry it's been a while. It's just it's been a little frustrating because I'm the only one that's been working for a while. So I didn't have the extra time, and I didn't want to be doing videos where I'm like exhausted and my brain just isn't working. That's not entertaining. It's exhausting. So I didn't want to give you a bad version of me. So but I've been paying attention, and I've been listening to Angry Prepper and a couple other channels that I've always been following. I've been keeping up on things, and it's just it's kind of nice that we're gonna be settling back down again. And I'm eager to get working on the property next year. um, I don't know what's going to happen, and that's kind of the scary part. Is I'm not sure. I shouldn't say scared. It's concerning, not scary, but it's concerning. Um, because we're close to losing our country, and so that you know, I guess the biggest thing you need to make up your mind is what are you going to do about it? If you're presented in different situations, whether it be a tornado or Mother Nature, with like when we were traveling, and this is what I meant to mention earlier, and I got lost in transition. So when we were in Pennsylvania, we stopped, like I said, at that Cracker Barrel. And they were like, we got there like right before they were closing. Like they were closing in like 15 or 20 minutes from the time we got there. And I was trying to kind of push the RV, not too fast, a little faster to be able to get there. And because I wanted to make sure that it was going to be okay for us to park there. And traditionally it is. So, and I said, hey, if you guys don't mind, since we got there, I said, I know you guys are closing in like 20 minutes, so I'm not trying to give you a last minute order, but if you guys want, because we're staying here, I'll give you my business. And so we ended up, ordering to go so that we didn't, take up too much time. And so, but they were great. And so I recommend you guys going there. If you're ever in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania, those guys are great at Cracker Barrel. They were more than helpful. And the only thing you got to do is when you park your RV there, the one thing they ask you to do is you have to like pull your vehicles as close to the RV as possible so you don't get towed. Because that's the last thing we wanted is well, they couldn't take the truck, but we had the RAV4. We had a Toyota RAV4 we were driving. So we also had a family member with us, so we wanted to make sure that all three vehicles stayed with us. So yeah, good to see you too, dog walker. But when we left Wilkes-Barre the next morning, we ran into some high winds, and there was a potential threat for a tornado. So that was a little concerning. That's the first time I've actually had an issue where um, the RV was a potential threat of a tornado. So I got an alert on my phone, and so I checked the Weather Channel, and I always check Ryan Hall, y'all. He's got a great channel, and that's where I get all my information. So between him, if I don't see anything on his channel, I'll check the Weather Channel and just keep up on wind conditions, because it does not take much for this RV to be pushed over. The RVs are designed to be for the wind to be head on. So if you're getting hit by some severe wind, the best thing you want is the RV to be facing towards the wind, not getting hit from the side or even behind. The reason why you don't want to get hit from behind is because the AC units are not designed to have that air. For whatever reason, it's only from the front. So, Henry, I think it was the tail end of Hurricane Debbie. I do believe that's what it was. It wasn't where I was. It wasn't overly bad. We got hit with some crazy rain. It was like a monsoon of rain. Like I almost had to pull the rig over because I couldn't see in front of me. It got a little dangerous, but um, when the rain hit me, I was like, okay, we need to just keep pushing. As long as it's safe. If I felt that, especially with an RV, or whether you're driving a big rig, like 18 wheeler or whatever, or a fifth wheel or an RV, anything big, last thing I want to do is be going fast and not see what's going on in front of me. So I made a judgment call. It was it was clear at the time, like rain was like hitting us, and then it stopped. So once I looked at the weather, I'm like, oh, this weather's coming after us. So the more I drove, the further I was getting away. So it worked out in the end. But yeah, I mean, when I heard about there's a potential for a tornado, I was like, we need to get out of here, because in case the RV was hit by a tornado, we'd lose everything. So yeah. But I mean, everything's going good. Like I said, the roof needs to be done. Oh yeah, we actually did have one incident. So we call it the stinky slinky, which is the black tank, gray water. Where we put all of the water, all the dirty water goes into the sewer. We actually, so I always pull the gray water before I pull the black tank, because we don't want any surprises. I won't go into details. We don't need to talk about that. You know what that is. Anyways, so I pulled the gray water, and everything was going fine. And then all of a sudden, I see this teensy little pinhole of a leak. And then it started growing a little more. And I'm like, oh boy, here we go. So I quickly closed it, and I tried putting some of that Gorilla like glue, and taping it over to try to bandage it up, to seal it up, because there was only a little pinhole. And the problem is the plastic. When you buy those, it's like 60, or I think we paid $65 to replace it. It's literally, I mean, go figure. We're on the road when this happens too, and so we ended up having to spend some money that I was hoping not to have to deal with that. So definitely always pull the gray before you pull the black, just to test it. Because normally what you do is you just pull the black tank, get all the stuff out you want, flush it out, and then you take both gray tanks, from the shower. One thing I do want to mention is that our RV, the sinks don't add up to where the water says it's going. So our sensor says that our kitchen water goes to one tank, and then the bathroom and the shower you would think would be connected, right? You'd have the shower and the bathroom should be in the same tank. That's not true. That's not what happens. So I found out that the shower means literally just the shower. That like, because they label it a certain way, but then when they actually put everything together, just if you buy an RV, you're going to learn this. Sometimes you think water is going one way and it's actually going the other. So the best way to do it is to figure it out is put your sewer, take your sewer, put everything together, and then run the shower. And when if you know all both tanks are empty, run the shower. Give it 2-3 minutes, and then open up the gray tank to see which tank that shower is going to. Um, there is a way where you can buy an attachment where you can leave both the gray tanks open, and you have one gate valve that you can pull. So I'll show you how to do that because I want to do that. Basically, you're doubling your gray tank storage, so that because you're not using as much shower. Like let's say you are doing dishes and you filled up one tank. What By releasing both gray tanks, keeping them open, but having that one gate valve, it'll fill up both tanks. So when they're both full, you can just pull that one gate valve, and it'll just dump them both at the same time, and then you just close them up as needed. So I'll show you in more detail. But yeah, it definitely. Henry says Debbie made landfall 50 miles from the Florida place. Oh wow, yeah. Let's see here. Yeah, it was crazy. I know I love Florida, but I knew that it was going to be tornado hurricane season over there. So yeah, we definitely weren't going to be going. I want to go back to Florida though. I love Florida. I mean, honestly, North Carolina, the Carolinas, Georgia. I don't recommend Georgia in July or August, but Georgia's a great state too. Just stay away from Atlanta. That Atlanta traffic is yeah, no, it's not fun when you're driving a big rig or have an RV. So I'm actually possibly looking at getting my CDL license too, because that's pretty much. I mean, you always need trucks, so it is something I'm looking into. I know getting my CDL. Um, I'll probably pay out of pocket for it. It's about $7,000 if my information that I got was correct. So I gotta look into that because I don't know if I do on the road. That's something I haven't really. I've been thinking about, but the problem is I do like my family. I don't want to lose them because I'm on the road and not present here. So it is something I'm considering because I do like to be on the road. I do a lot of gig work where I'm on the road a lot. So hey, Shenanigans, how you doing? I know I've been MIA for a while, and so what I was thinking to start doing is maybe doing some videos of where I am at work. Um, yeah, Shenanigans, I'm back here in West Virginia, West by God, Virginia. Yep, I know. Someone told me when I was up in New England, they're like, "Oh, you're from Virginia," and I'm like, "No, no, 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 no. We're from West Virginia, the better Virginia." The one that's not so woke Virginia. So yeah, we're back here. Shenanigans, I bought some property down in West Virginia. So I will be showing that next year. So yeah, I finally made it. Oh, that's awesome. Got to go back to Cali in October. Sweet. Sweet, sweet. So yeah, there's a lot to do. Um, yeah, I got to figure out my internet situation down there too. So I'll probably end up getting another Starlink. Now I know Starlink came out with another version. Um, they came out with Gen 3. Yeah, Henry. Henry says on the road is god awful. Yeah, that's what I've heard. There's a bunch of coal mining positions that are open. There's also let's see, what else was there. There's I've seen a couple truck businesses. Oh man, I can't talk today. It's been a long week. But anyways, what I'm trying to say is I've been through a couple different businesses where there's truckers, and I've seen that there's signs that they're hiring. So I'm like, I got to get at least my, if I don't get my Class A, at least get the Class B. So, but that being said, guys, I'm going to end the live stream. I know some of you guys just made it in here, and I do appreciate you taking the time to, come see what I had to say. And I have a lot of footage on my phone. I've just got to take the time to edit it, which takes the longest to do. I love live streams because I can connect directly with you, and I don't have to worry about editing. I can just, it's everything I say is unscripted. I don't have a prompter. I'm just going off my own memory and stuff. So sometimes, you're going to get what you get. But the thing is, it's going to be my honest opinion. I don't have run ads on here. I know I've taken some time off, but we're going to get back into the groove of things. And the other thing is too, is last year we were in a similar spot near here, and my Starlink was just it wasn't working. It just, I could do videos, but it would take forever to upload them. So, yes, Zoe wasn't really in the whole, mood to hang out, but I'm trying to work on inside the RV. I'm trying to set up like a desk area where Zoe's crate will go next to it, and we're going to take the table out. The table we have, you can just, it's movable. It's not, only the benches are actually in the foundation of the slide. So we're going to remove those. Not sure when. I want to do it sooner than later. I got to get some other stuff done first. But what I want to do, my goal is to remove the table, take it out, put her crate, because her crate's in front of the table right now. So it's kind of in the way. It's taking up a lot of space. So, once my kids are all moved out and we don't need the bunk beds anymore, really, maybe I can, do something with that. But for now, I want to take that table. The table, you can move it. Like you can put it outside. It folds up, and But I'm figuring if we can take that out, we can put her crate in there. I can build a desk or buy a desk and put it in there, and put it in the slide. So there's a couple things I want to do, and then when I work on this, I'll show you my progress, so that you guys are seeing what I'm doing, and give you ideas or show you what the RV life is all about. But honestly, though, if you're thinking about buying an RV, definitely get it inspected before you buy it. Even if it's brand new like mine has had its issues. We've had some issues with I should say we still have issues with our refrigerator, where the problem is it'll, sorry. What I was going to say, sorry, I was just reading Devil Dog Prepper's comment. So the refrigerator, the problem we have with it is the freezer will like freeze up. So like the vent that all the cold air goes down from the freezer, it's all electric. It's not propane. It's some RVs you use propane or you can use electric, but ours is just electric only. Anyways, Camping World where I bought it, they didn't want to replace the unit because it was quote unquote working, which technically they weren't wrong, but the problem was the freezer it won't defrost. It's supposed to defrost on its own, and it's not. That's the only problem. So pretty much once every 2 weeks, we have to take everything from the freezer and put it in the refrigerator, and then just open up the freezer. And if it's hot enough out, we can just let it thaw out on its own. It's kind of an inconvenience, but it does work. It's kind of a headache, but I brought it in 3 times, and Camping World's like, yeah, we're not going to replace it. And a new refrigerator that we have, that refrigerator is about $25,000 or $3,000 to replace. So we're like, you know what, we'll just deal with it. In this RV, or what our situation was going to be. So we're like, you know what, we'll just deal with it, and if something goes wrong with it and it's completely broken, we'll just replace it. So yeah. Oh, I know. Yeah, well, and here's the thing is they told me, they're like, yeah, it tests, everything tests out okay, and I'm like, well, no, it's. So, anyways, I got real huffy puffy with her, rightfully so. I mean, I know you guys would have done the same thing, and I wasn't trying to be, a jerk, but let's be honest, this is an expensive RV. It shouldn't be needing issues right from the get go. Um, but that's the type of quality you get from the new RVs. So, if you're buying an RV from like 2019 to 2022, I would avoid it at all costs. And the reason being is because they rushed production. They weren't able to produce enough of these. It's the quality. You don't get the same quality like you do in a car. So, I haven't had too many issues with my rig, besides the refrigerator. Um, Last year when we went to Florida, right before we left, my slide got stuck. It wouldn't, something happened to it. So we had to call somebody out. So between the slide and the refrigerator, knock on wood, or, knock on the RV, that nothing else has happened. So we've been pretty lucky, because I've heard some horror stories where, people are buying new rigs that are, $100,000, for Class A, or, which Class A is like the, it's a motorhome. Basically, it's got the engine. It's as long as an 18-wheeler, just about. It's like a big bus, really. That's a Class A, and they'll buy them, and they're staying in the shop. And these are really nice high end models, and they're having issues with them. So, you know, I was very pissed off for a while, and then I was like, you know what, they weren't doing anything about it. So I'm like, you know what, I'm like, screw it. I'm just gonna, make it work, and if it just becomes an issue, further down the road, I'll just buy a different refrigerator. But it's stupid though. I don't know why they couldn't just be like, you know what, look, you're right. It's not defrosting like it should on its own, and I mean, even the manufacturer was okay with replacing the unit, but they're like, but you need to send us tests. And the problem is that the tests that we were doing, everything was coming back good. Like the numbers, it was cold, it was acceptable, and then it's just like every time we defrosted it out, we would start it back up. And so when we finally got the appointment for the refrigerator to be, tested, it was working because we had already defrosted it, and it goes good for 2 weeks at a time. So it just, but even the last time, the third time they tested it, um, so you hear the motorcycle. Um, Even the third time they tested it, they're like, "Oh yeah, we see that the freezer is, frozen over. That's normal." They said that's normal. And I'm like, absolutely not. I about lost it. Like I was like, it's not worth going to jail over this, bimbo. We'll just say bimbo, to try to be nice. But she's like, "Have a nice day," and I'm like, I just walked out, and yeah, I don't recommend Camping World. I don't know about Myers RV. I don't know much about them, but definitely try to find somewhere else to, because the problem is Camping World, the people, the service guys there, the sales, they do an excellent job. Yeah, those guys are on it. Like those guys trying to sell you, they'll sell you the moon. I mean, they will try to sell you anything, and I mean, they were great. I mean, like I waited 3 months to buy mine, and because I wanted to make sure it was the right one, and I went looking in the price range for me, and my partner wasn't exactly on board with it, so I was kind of, you know, researching and doing things. I was going to buy a used one, but I was like, well, what if it's got more issues? I was like, the new one, it's only, it's double the money, but it's, but it would be mine, and whatever issues, I'm like, I wasn't sure what I was going to get into, because the biggest thing I was worried about was mold and RV damage with water. And so, at least with a new rig, if it gets messed up, it's on me. So that's why I was like, I wasn't sure how things were wired. I heard some horror stories, so I was like, I'm just gonna go new because it had solar panels, um, you know, things I could work on, and it just, if I was to do it over again, I would probably buy the same RV. To be honest, it's just the biggest headache was just the service department. The sales is excellent. The service department sucks. Um, and they were trying to sell me RV insurance, like the extra, get the extended insurance and stuff. And the problem with that is that you run into issues where you're wasting your money. Like they'll say they'll cover all this and that, but push comes to shove, something happens and you need it. They're not there to back you up. It's kind of it's ridiculous. You expect to pay extra, just in case something breaks or something isn't right. You have that insurance. Well, if you get that extended warranty or whatever on RVs, they'll just like any insurance, it's more or less a scam. To get money out of you. Um, but that's my opinion, guys. But yeah, I mean, as far as the RV goes, before the only other thing I could say, real quick to finish up, is before we left, I always make sure that the wheel bearings are greased, like repacked. Um, so on my rig, which I have a Springfield 282 BH, which is a bunkhouse model. Um, I'll show you some of the modifications I've done between the last time we spoke and now. Um, Try to get you up to speed. But repacking the wheel bearings is a must, because what happens is when you're driving down the mountains, especially in West Virginia, if you ride the brakes, that grease will eventually get hot enough where it turns to liquid instead of a grease. And what ends up happening is your brakes will like not. I mean, you'll lose your brakes, and you'll start wearing out your bearings. It just causes a lot of damage. So the best thing what I do is because I don't have a diesel. My truck's gasoline. I can't use the brake, like the bigger trucks have. But what I do is I start off slow at the top of the hill and just coast down and just slowly, use the brakes as necessary to just kind of slow me down. Um, but I don't go past, at least with the tow behind like I have. I don't go past 65 because I don't trust the China bombs. I have China bombs on my rig, and they're going to be getting replaced probably this year coming up, in 2025. Um, so now I've heard some horror stories. Um, you know, hey Esteen85, how you doing? Um, so I know we ran over. Oh wow, yeah, we were definitely. I need to go inside, but yeah, I mean I could talk to you for hours, guys. I appreciate you taking time on your Sunday. I hope you guys have a great rest of your weekend. Um, my computer's dying anyway, so I need to go charge it. But I wanted to get on here, talk to you guys. I know it's been a while, and I'm glad to see you guys are all back. It's great to see you, and I didn't mean to be gone as long as I was, but it just working all the time. I'm This is the first day I had off in like a long time. I mean, I took when we went to Gillette on August 4th. Yeah, it was August 4th. We had a 2-hour rain delay there. It was funny because, well, it wasn't funny. It sucked at the time. But Metallica, I'm like, if they do not come out, because it was lightning out too. I'm like, if they don't come out and play Ride the Lightning as their opener, I'm going to be mad. It would have been perfect timing because it was literally like everyone was chanting. And we saw the lightning and then you hear the boom and it just, like we were all saying, Ride the Lightning, come on. It was a fun time. But yeah, yeah, shenanigans. Yeah, I'll be adding more stuff. It's just and we went back to MP1. I wanted to do some changes, and I just I'm like I had a vision, and I'm like, you know what? Let's just go back, keep it MP1. That's what other channels have known me by. And someone mentioned, oh, you're it's like Southern Prepper One, and I was like, listen, I'm from the north. I consider myself a prepper. It is what it is. You don't like it, go pound sand. Like, it is what it is. It's just a channel name. Just like any other nickname I've had. So it's just, it is what it is. You know, haters are gonna always hate. Whether you do it right or wrong, you're always gonna have one person who's not gonna be happy with things. So I tried changing it up, and I had a vision, and when I had to stop, that's what kind of frustrated me, was because I had to keep working and working, and I was putting in between 60 to 70 hours a week. So by the time I had free time for you guys, I was just burnt out, and I'm like, I am not getting on YouTube and just being burnt out. It wouldn't have been fun, believe me. So now that things are settling down, and I've been trying to keep, I'm trying to get out of debt. I've got the camper payment, and I got my truck, not truck, I've got my Toyota RAV4's payment. So now the biggest crazy amount of spending we did was literally fuel. So to bring this rig from here in West Virginia to New England, where I was staying in Massachusetts, it cost me $500 in fuel. And that's with me using discounts and trying to find the cheapest gas, and just try to, we were getting I think it was 6.7 miles per gallon, maybe if we were doing okay, 7 miles per gallon at best up the mountains. But we were traditionally getting about 8 miles to the gallon. uh, you know the Suburban with the 454, even though it's only got 61,000 original miles on it, it's, the truck's old, but the engine's not. um, it didn't burn hardly any oil. I mean, it's still in the same oil change. I changed oil here, drove up there, and drove back. So yeah, so I spent $1,000 in fuel, roughly, maybe 900, because I saved my Sheets points. I saved my Sheets points, and I got 73 cents off a gallon. So I did save some money there. And my truck takes 42 gallons, so definitely saved some pretty good money on that. I think it was like $36 or something like that. I don't know. I saved a lot of money. On that one fill up, because we also had my RAV4. So I should say the truck probably took around 400, and my RAV4 probably did the other 100. So between the two vehicles, it was about $500. Um, and that's a hybrid, so it did pretty good. But yeah, guys, I'm gonna kill it before my battery dies and abruptly kills the feed. So it was good to talk to you guys. I will have something a little bit more stable, so you guys can watch without me like bobbling the computer. I want to get something set up inside the RV, so things to work on, things that I want to take care of. But I wanted to get on here and talk to you because it's been a while. So, but yeah, guys, if you have anything you want to talk about, just email me at northernprepper1@protonmail.com. I'm still using that email, and we'll be continuing to use it. If there's anything you guys want to talk about, just put it down in the comments, or email me. But it's good to be back. And I apologize that it's been this long, because I've lost, a couple hundred subscribers, and it has. I've noticed that. I've been keeping an eye, and it's just, again, getting on here and being, like a Joe Biden brain dead, not entertaining at all. So I definitely do apologize, but at the same time, I want to make sure that I, didn't look like Joe Biden on here. So, and I feel bad for him. I mean, that's elder abuse. Joe Biden, I don't agree with his politics. I think he was a shitty politician. Um, yeah, shenanigans. We should talk about that, exactly. But I feel bad for Joe Biden. That's elder abuse. Whether he has dementia, I mean, I don't even know if he knows what he's doing. And it seems like when he was on TV, it's possible that it's possible that it was a someone who looked like him. That it wasn't really him. Who knows? Who really knows? But hopefully Trump can get back in. Um, I will say that when I was in New England, I saw a lot of Trump flags. I was pretty shocked, to be honest. Not so much when I was in the countryside, but I seen some flags in the city that were openly for Trump. So I never thought I'd see that, especially in deep blue Massachusetts. So gives me hope. So on that note, guys, have a great night. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I will see you next Sunday, same time at 8 o'clock. You guys take care. Good to see y'all. Take it easy. See you in the next one.